I know most of you, and you might know me. I'm Jennifer Brock-Poller, the director of the Ames Community Arts Council. Welcome to all of you, and thank you for joining us in this unique format during this unprecedented time. So how many times have you said that in the last few weeks? While I wish we could all be together in person, I also appreciate that technology has given us the opportunity to honor our award winners in a way that keeps everyone safe and healthy. Thank you for joining us to help us to celebrate those who celebrate the arts. As always, I want to start this ceremony by thanking everyone who helps the Arts Council do all that we do throughout the year. We could not continue to serve artists and others in the community without the support of our members and donors and the City of Ames Commission on the Arts. Your support makes all the difference. The Ames Community Arts Council encourages the involvement of everyone to provide support, share knowledge, skills, and expertise. With ongoing help of our volunteers, members, and member organizations, the Arts Council is able to continue to enhance and promote the arts in Ames. Would especially like to recognize the Ames Community Arts Council board members who do so much to assure the continued success of our organization. So a special thank you to Marla Martins, Stan Raby, Karen Krug, Connie Garnett, Tammy Kolbeck, Dan Marks, Nadav Mayer, Kyle Rennell, and Leanne Wilson. I really could say so much about each of them, but in the interest of time, I'll leave it simple and say thank you and know that it's not nearly enough for all they do. We've also had an amazing team of student interns this year who have done a lot to advance the mission of the Arts Council. I especially want to thank Maureen McDonald, who has continued to work with us even though COVID-19 sent her back to Florida in March. She's done a lot to make this event possible, from the program design, which I promise you will see, to producing much of the videos you will see today. We would have been lost without her, and we're so happy she has stuck with us for these past few months. So thank you, Maureen. I'd also like to thank Jim Brock-Poller for his technical support today. As we move back and forth from live event to recordings, it's Jim behind the scenes making things run smoothly, as is so often the case. This is just one of the many things he has done to make the Arts Council successful, and we are really thankful. So, any other year at this point in the ceremony, I would be introducing board member Stan Raby to be our MC for the rest of the event. This year, I'll try to fill the role, but not before I take a moment to thank Stan for his 6 years of service to our board. Stan was on the board that hired me as the director of the Arts Council, and he's been a constant voice of reason, encouragement, and support. I know I speak on behalf of the entire organization when I say that you will be greatly missed. Let it be known that I still have your email and phone number, and I'm not afraid to use them. But thank you for all that you do to support the arts in Ames in countless ways. I would let Stan talk, but it'll just get mushy. And with that, let's get to the honorees for this year's event. Our first award is the Hazel Hammer Cherished Volunteer Award. This award is given to those who respond wholeheartedly to a variety of needs for an Ames arts organization. This person does everyday work that allows an organization to function and does that work for the long term. It's named for Hazel Hammer, who many of you may know, who was the consummate volunteer. Her energies were devoted to the arts. The Ames Community Arts Council, the Ames Choral Society, actors, and many more organizations are indebted to her. If there was a job to be done, Hazel would do it. She understood that it was doing the mundane chores that keep organizations operating and growing. Hazel was soft-spoken and a little shy, some said, but when it came to the arts, she could ask people to do the things that needed to be done. And it is with great pleasure that this year's award is given to Jim and Diane Patton for their tireless service to university museums at Iowa State University. University Museums has created a video for us to share with you.
University Museums at Iowa State is proud to help recognize Jim and Diane Patton for the 2020 Hazel Hammer Cherished Volunteer Award, presented by the Ames Community Arts Council. Jim and Diane have been engaged with university museums since the 1990s. They are always at the forefront of encouraging others in the community to visit our museum spaces, whether making calls to invite friends to events, visiting with patrons at their church, hosting private events at the museum, or sharing information at Jim's Rotary Club meetings. Jim and Diane have assisted with numerous university museum special projects and events. Jim spearheaded fundraising initiatives and served as one of the hosts for the Faces of Iowa State bus tour. And Diane served on the planning committee for the Beyond the Glass Rainier reopening festivities, and as an MC for our Rent-A-Breaking construction kickoff event. University Museums Director Lynette Pullman speaks about the Pattons' involvement.
Jim and Diane have been loyal volunteers, donors, patrons, advocates, and all-around good cheerleaders for the museums. They help us present the arts and culture not only to Iowa State, but to the state of Iowa.
Both Jim and Diane have served on the volunteer-based University Museums Advancement Council since its inception in 2014, helping with fundraising, acquisition of objects, and raising awareness of University Museum's mission. They also played an integral role in regional fundraising for the restoration of Morrill Hall, as well as providing financial support for many museums initiatives. They've even spent hours greeting fairgoers at the ISU booth at the Iowa State Fair, promoting Iowa State and university museums. They have also donated objects and helped to maintain the permanent collection. The Pattons rarely miss a university museum's opening, reception, or educational program, and are often the first to arrive and last to leave. From brainstorming to implementation, Jim and Diane will see each project they are involved with through to success. Their enthusiasm and love for Iowa State University and the University Museums is apparent. We can think of no other couple more deserving of this volunteer award, and we thank you for all that you do. We also thank the Ames Community Arts Council for recognizing Jim and Diane Patton's contributions to university museums, and Ronnie Lindeman for submitting the award nomination.
She's not unmuted.
I muted myself. I know Jim and Diane are on the call. Would you like to say anything?
Yes, I just wanted to say that Jim and I are honored to receive the Hazel Hammer Cherished Volunteer Award from the Ames Community Arts Council. When we relocated to Ames 7 years ago, our expectation was to be involved with the community and Iowa State. We find the art on campus and university museums exhibits enriching and stimulating. As former educators, we're really enthused by the efforts of the museum's staff's work across the university's disciplines to teach students visual literacy and to incorporate art in construction and renovation of buildings.
We also appreciate Ames for its public art in neighborhoods and business districts that enlivens the community. We thank you for your investment in art and its many forms, and for this recognition.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so very, very much. It's just lovely to have you as a part of our community. So with that, we'll go on to our next award. The next award is the Bill Pels Arts Advocacy Award, named for the former mayor of Ames, who hosted the very first fundraising event for actors and who was also responsible for the establishment of the Arts Council. This award is intended for that person who generates enthusiasm for Ames arts events by taking every opportunity to promote and encourage participation at any and all levels, as an audience member, a performer, or a behind-the-scenes volunteer. Let's watch a short clip from a video we pre-recorded honoring this year's winner, Steve Boleyn.
Steve Boleyn is this year's Bill Pels Arts Advocacy recipient. Receiving Steve's nomination material was a real treat. We received numerous letters and emails from all sorts of people, and everyone spoke of his advocacy, generosity, and humor. Even speaking to him on the phone to let him know that he had received the award was a lot of fun. Let me share just a part of one letter from Clark Ford, president of the Ames Choral Society, that tells us a bit about all he does to embody the Bill Pells Arts Advocacy Award. Steve Boleyn is an enthusiastic supporter, organizer, volunteer, donator, and all-around positive force for the Ames Choral Society and a host of other organizations in Ames, including the Golden Key Singers, the Senior Variety Show, Ames Senior Bowling League, Ames Fishing Club, Food at First, and the Central Iowa Symphony. He is Mr. Enthusiasm and a heck of a nice guy, too. Steve Boleyn gives of his time, his talents, his energy, and in other ways you can think of to help. He has served with relish on committees and the Ames Choral Society Board, where he currently represents the bass section in the choir, and is a past president as well. Steve is someone you can rely on to get things done and to lend support for a project and to be quick with a joke. My personal experience with him has expanded from the Ames Choral Society to the Golden K Singers and the Senior Variety Show. And in all cases, Steve is there lending a hand, making it work, drumming up enthusiasm, promoting the success of whatever the organization is doing, and smiling. I can't think of anyone I know more deserving of the Bill Pells Award. We are so happy to celebrate Steve and to honor him with this award.
The green hair might be my favorite part of this entire event, just so you know. Steve, do you have anything you'd like to share with the group? You need to unmute in the bottom left corner. There you go.
Okay. I need some place to hide. Well, the first thing I'd like to do is thank Clark Ford for his very, very thoughtful, kind, and generous words on behalf of my nomination. It's too late to back out now, Clark. I'm sorry. Clark is a retired professor emeritus in ethics. He's also former vice president and past president of the Ames Choral Society. So his nomination means a lot to me. I'm only glad you didn't hear his first nomination draft, to tell you the truth. But seriously, Clark, I'm honored and I'm humble, and I thank you. Second, it's a particular honor for me to join the class, if you will, of my dear friends Jim Oakey and Alice Thompson, as well as my Ames Choral Society singers Kitty Fisher and Susan Gant. My trivial contributions to the arts truly pale when compared to the impact of each of my fellow inductees. But I'll try to catch up as the years go by, as best I can, and as often as I can. And to the Arts Council, I thank you very, very much.
Well, thank you. That was super sweet. We couldn't do what we do without people like you and the wonderful people you mentioned. Yes, the silent applause. Thank you all so much.
You're very welcome.
So I will go to our next award winner. Our next award is for the Distinguished Board Member, and this award celebrates a board member of an Ames Community Arts Council participating organization who fulfills her volunteer commitment with loyalty, inspiration, and imagination. The award recognizes the essential role that a board member plays in the vitality of any organization. And this year's winner is Kitty Fisher, who was nominated by the Ames Choral Society. And I just want to note that Kitty was probably the first person that I met as the new director of the Arts Council. And it's just been lovely to get to know you over the years. And thank you for all you do. With that, let's go to the video to hear more about Kitty.
This year's winner is Kitty Fisher, who was nominated on behalf of the Ames Choral Society. It's my pleasure to read this statement from Stephen Wilson, who submitted Kitty's nomination. Kitty Fisher has been the publicist for the Ames Choral Society Board of Directors since approximately 2006. Her contribution includes lots of work in addition to attending regular board meetings and in participating in general Ames Choral Society activities. Basically, she plans and carries out all the publicity designed to inform the community about Ames Choral Society activities. She arranges for the design, printing, and distribution of posters. She writes press releases and communicates with the media. She somehow comes up with ideas for new and fun publicity photos for each event. When Kitty was a graduate student, she was a member of a choir with many rehearsals, yet there were more singers than audience in the concerts. This situation bothered her. She said, quote, "If you spend all that time preparing for a good concert, you want people in the audience to enjoy it," end quote. When working in Washington, D.C., she joined a choir and volunteered to help with the publicity there. After she came to Ames in 2000, she joined the Ames Choral Society. When the publicist at the time resigned from the job in around 2006, Kitty said she would handle it, and she's been doing it ever since. She also handles marketing for the senior variety show, and she wrote to me, quote, "If I believe in something, I'm out there promoting it," end quote. Kitty has served in the crucial and sometimes thankless job of publicist for more than a decade. In this way, she demonstrates her loyalty to the Ames Choral Society. Her similar role with the senior variety show shows that her loyalty to Ames Arts extends even more broadly to the community. Kitty definitely merits being honored with the Ames Community Arts Council Distinguished Board Member Award, and our only regret is that we're not able to do so in person. Congratulations, Kitty, and thank you for all you do.
I believe Steve is on the line, but I noticed that I probably took all of his words. But if you have anything you'd like to say, Steve, you certainly can. All right, then we will. I see him shaking his head no, so we'll turn this over to Kitty. Kitty, would you like to say anything?
Mute my.
Oh.
There. Okay.
There you go. Yep, you got it.
I met my friend Ginny Molgard. She's got a camera on her computer. I was wondering what embarrassing things the Choral Society would put in the video. Thank you very much. I appreciate the ACAC having an awards program. I think it's very important to acknowledge all of our arts members. And I was flattered and honored to be nominated by Steve Wilson and the Ames Choral Society Board. Thank you very much. And like Steve said, it's an honor to be up here with so many people that I perform with, either the Choral Society or the senior variety show. So I say the seniors rule today. And I want to, the Choral Society is such a fun and supportive group. And with Steve Hoyfeld as our director, it's a joy to sing with him. As you probably know, we have not sung since March because singing is supposed to be one of the most dangerous things you can do with the virus going around. So we're really not sure what our future is. So stay tuned. If you're at all interested in knowing more about the Choral Society, check out our Facebook page and we'll try to keep you up to date on what's happening. But I thank you all very much. It's quite an honor.
Thank you, Kitty. As I said, you've been lovely. Silent applause. So to keep going, our next award is the Lemonade from Lemons Award and celebrates just what it sounds like. It's given to an individual who met adversity with spunk and vigor, or that responded to needs and demands in a particular unique or creative way. We're pleased to recognize Susan Gant with this award, and we have another video honoring Susan.
We are pleased to recognize Susan Gant with this award. Susan was nominated by the Ames Choral Society, and her nominator shared the following statement about her. Susan Gant is a treasured member of the Ames Choral Society. She's a musician, an artist, and a creative genius with the written word. Our annual cabaret show began as a variety of songs with a theme, but one faithful year it was decided to add a plot, and these wacky shows have continued into the present. Susan proved to be an excellent editor, taking all of our brainstorming ideas and distilling the silliness into a succinct dialogue and segues to create a more cohesive and surprisingly whole. With the plots came a need for a set. Susan's artistic talents have provided a giant spaceship, a French fairy tale forest, a Paris cafe, a Grecian island, and the Middle Earth, as well as a myriad of smaller detail pieces to add to the atmosphere of every show. She creates amazing costumes for her own numbers and for other performers as well, with my all-time favorite, the 8 dragon heads for a small group number. Also, for many years, Susan was responsible for our concert posters and consistently created stunning design to capture the viewer's attention. One letter of support notes, quote, Susan continues to contribute her wonderful ideas despite many recent challenges in her life. I believe she is a shining star for our group. And with that, it is our pleasure to recognize Susan for her continued contributions to the arts in Ames with the Lemonade for Lemons Award.
Is there anyone on the line who'd like to recognize Susan? Is Susan here herself? I don't see her name, but
well, I'll say something if that's okay.
Please do, Clark.
Yes, of course, as you saw in the video, Susan has been a big part of the Ames Choral Society, and I just have to say, wow, she is so creative, and you didn't get to see pictures of her sets, actually. But somebody who very much, sort of stayed out of the limelight, and yet was there working and helping and contributing in tremendous ways. And so I think everybody in the Choral Society recognizes what Susan has done each year and every year, and I feel very blessed by her.
Yeah, I'll say something. I don't know how many of you know Susan, but she had a severe health issue several years ago that she is recovering from. So and this past year, she was able to join the Choral Society for our first semester. So it was really wonderful to have her come back and have music being part of her rehab.
It really does make all the difference, as I think many of us on the call know. So we're really honored to be able to recognize Susan's contribution. And with that, I'll go on to our next award, which is the Art Educator Award, who is given to an educator in the greater Ames community who identifies, encourages, instructs, and promotes the arts in Ames in an exemplary manner. This year, we're honoring James Webb from Ames High School and Amanda Peetfish-Schrag from Iowa State. Let's roll more video to hear about James and Amanda.
I guess it makes sense, living in a town that values art education as much as Ames does, that there are 2 winners in the category this year. First, we would like to recognize James Webb, who was nominated by Sarah Compton on behalf of the Iowa State Center. James works at Ames High School and uses the arts to connect with his students and to encourage them in all aspects of their education. Webb is an English teacher and mentor teacher at Ames High School. He received the 2015 Iowa Council of Teachers of English Distinguished Service Award as a special recognition of his passion for giving back to his profession and his ability to teach students how to master words and ideas that can change the world. A longtime liaison to the Iowa State Center's On Stage program for Ames High School, James gives of his time and energy to ensure that his students have access to performances and experiences. He is a master of helping students reach beyond their own perceived potential to do more and appreciate the world in ways they never imagined. Each year, he coordinates and encourages a dozen or more students to attend 6 performances at Stevens Auditorium and then write about their experience. Their conversations at the performance and at talkback sessions following have provided thoughtful and deeply teachable moments. James is a performer himself, having formed a band with fellow faculty member at Ames High School and performing frequently as a duo with his wife, Lisa. He shares that love of creative expression with his students. James Webb uses English to share the arts and uses the arts in teaching English. They are inseparable, the language of the arts and James Webb. And we are happy to recognize him as an exemplary art educator. Our second award winner is Amanda Peefish-Reg. Amanda was nominated by Brad Dell from the ISU Theater Department, and they provided us with a video to recognize Amanda.
Hello, my name is Brad Dell, and my pronouns are he, him, his, and I am the Director of Theater at Iowa State University. I am so incredibly thrilled to introduce Amanda Peefish-Reg, the Ames Community Arts Council's 2020 Educator Award recipient. I have known Amanda for more than 10 years, and we have worked together very closely over the last 5 years since Amanda joined the ISU Theater faculty. I am extremely fortunate to have such a dynamic educator, scholar, and creative artist among our team. Amanda truly inspires her students and colleagues alike with her creative instincts, her scholarly rigor, her commitment to citizen artistry, and innovative teaching. Amanda is a highly impactful teacher for many reasons, but I want to focus on 3 of her core values, which I believe make her truly exceptional. Her model citizen artistry, her fierce curiosity, and her impassioned commitment to equity, diversity, and inclusion. Amanda cares deeply about the world around her. She regularly volunteers as a political canvasser, calls her congressional representatives daily, serves on various committees at church, and inspires her own children to care about the world around them. Amanda is a model citizen artist. And so unsurprisingly, at its core, Amanda's teaching is utterly and fabulously responsive. Responsive to the challenges within our local community, responsive to the broader societal demands, responsive to the shifting trends in theater pedagogy, and ultimately, and most importantly, responsive to the individual and immediate needs of her students. This commitment to being responsive necessitates a commitment to constantly innovate. By attending workshops and trainings both at ISU and at national conferences, Amanda ensures that her innovations are not only responsive, but responsible. Ultimately, the proof of Amanda's teaching successes come from the impact that she has had on her students. Junior Performing Arts major Lena Menifee-Cook highlights the particular effectiveness of Amanda's Actor's Voice class. The leading principles of this course, comprised of all majors including theater, elementary education, mechanical engineering, and more, are to become self-aware rather than self-conscious, and to learn to not make rules where they don't exist. She cares deeply about making her courses accessible and applicable to students of any background. In Amanda's classes, theater is not just about performing or creating. The lessons I learned in Amanda's classes help me and other students develop and refine our confidence, accountability, collaboration, and critical thinking skills. Amanda's pedagogical innovation is a result of her deep curiosity. She's deeply curious about the world. She teaches through questions rather than answers and inspires curiosity in her students by constantly encouraging them to engage in inquiry about their work, their community, themselves, and the world around them. Vivian Cook celebrates Amanda's instinct for curiosity by saying she instills in her students and fellow community members a desire to dig deeper, ask questions, and use knowledge to discover, connect, and apply new discoveries. Her method of teaching has encouraged me to not simply look for answers in my own research and performance, but instead to ask questions about the world around me. In this way, I can constantly challenge myself to grow as an artist, student, and person. These skills will not only help me in the theater, but in any career I choose, in my personal life, and my contributions to the community. Amanda's commitment to equity, diversity, and inclusion has resulted in significant innovation in her artistry and pedagogy. It is critical to Amanda that every person in the room is valued, honored, celebrated, and given voice. For Amanda, this isn't simply a stated philosophy, but a regularly executed practice. Amanda attempts to model a decentralized leadership structure. Rather than placing herself as the master guru, she instead is the prompter of inquiry, encouraging her students to explore in whatever direction their curiosity leads them. This even extends to her work as a director. Her spring 2019 production, Iowa Odyssey, or How Did We Get to Here, was a devised piece about immigration stories in Iowa. Amanda formed a team of students to lead the direction of this production. Amanda removes herself from the front of the pack, not to escape responsibility, but instead to make room at the table for as wide a range of voices as possible. Amanda's pedagogy is equity, diversity, and inclusion in action. Over the last 5 years, Amanda's teaching innovations have become truly the heart and soul of the educational philosophy of the ISU Theater program. Our mission statement is all about empowering citizen artistry through the performing arts, which is directly inspired from Amanda's core values. Amanda is a teacher in the trenches. She is working to inspire young theater artists to engage in artistry that counts and has impact. There are no fixed points, no sacred cows in Amanda's pedagogy, but instead a constant search for truth, justice, and equality that is responsive to the needs of her students, collaborators, and the world. Amanda is not only an innovative educator, but an innovative citizen. I can think of no one more deserving of this award. Congratulations, Amanda.
These videos have been so great to watch. It's so exciting that we had 2 award winners in this category this year. It's always neat when we have so much talent to draw from. I know that James is driving to Colorado with his family right now, so he could not join us, but I believe Tammy Kolbeck is on the line and might have a few words to say.
All right. Hi, can everyone hear me? A wave?
I can hear you.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, it was such James Webb did such great work with us on our onstage program and really helped Stevens with our mission to engage adults and students in experiences with the performing arts through the presentation of performances by world-class artists. And specifically in the onstage program, a lot of times these are the first times these students are seeing world-class performances on stage, from Broadway to symphony to cirque acts, and the fact that they have the opportunity to interact at those 6 performances that was mentioned in the video with our performers has been really, for them, life-changing, and we know that because of the feedback that we get. And without James, that would not be happening. So we're just very appreciative of his work through the years to keep our onstage program going and to be so successful. So I was really sorry he couldn't join us today, but he's done great work for us. And as soon as we can get our doors back open, we're looking forward to welcoming the students and James again. Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy. Amanda, I see you on the line. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
I'll just say a huge thank you to the Arts Council for this honor. Huge thanks to my colleague and nominator Brad Dell and for his very, very kind words. And also to my amazing students and colleagues at Iowa State who really make my job such a joy. So thank you to all of you.
Thank you. Oh, this makes me so happy. Our next award is the Veronica Rudenberg Cultural Entrepreneur Award, which recognizes a community-minded pioneer who has shown the vision and courage to break ground for some new institution for the enrichment of Ames cultural life, creating something where there was nothing. Veronica was an inspiration to many. She supported individual creative efforts and those who wanted to try something new, regardless of how unusual or difficult. She was open-minded and encouraged this in others. Her good intuition, her unflinching goodwill, her selfless enthusiasm, and her confidence in other people made her an effective cultural pioneer, and the institution she built up grew and prospered long after she was gone. She was living proof of the joy in the creative journey rather than the safety of the bandwagon. This year's award is presented to Reliable Street and Lockwood Cafe, the brainchild of Lindsay Nissen and Sharon Stewart. Rhonda Scott, who submitted the award nomination on behalf of the Octagon Center for the Arts, made a short video for us to share.
Reliable Street and Lockwood Cafe perfectly embody the spirit of the Veronica Rudenberg Cultural Entrepreneur Award. They imagined a type of organization that never existed in Ames before. They reclaimed and purchased an old building and gave it new life. They opened a cafe in a food desert part of Ames. They created gathering spaces and inclusive spaces for artists and arts of all kinds, from music and spoken word to performing arts and visual arts. They have created events that were really led by the community. Moonrock the Musical is a great example of that, a family-friendly event where everyone was encouraged to take leadership roles and to be involved. They have experienced struggles as they did not always know a lot about building codes and construction and about being entrepreneurs, but they persisted and they didn't let that stop them. And they continued to innovate and to build community. And it's exciting to think about what they might do next. They have a lot of dreams and a lot of plans that I think are going to make Ames just a better place to be and to live. So I'm looking forward to what they do next. And I'm so excited that they've been selected to receive this award. It's very well deserved.
We are so happy to recognize Lindsay and Sharon for their work. As Rhonda said, we can't wait to see what they do next.
That actually was going to be my next line. I didn't realize it was in the video. So there you go. I know that Rhonda nor Sharon or Lindsay could be here today. Rhonda is on another Zoom meeting doing something cool. And Lindsay and Sharon thought they would be able to connect via Zoom, but it's not working because of their internet connection. They've taken their last family short vacation to the cabin, their last adventure before they opened the cafe in August, and so it just wasn't working for them. But they did send a short statement to say that they're really thankful for the award and really appreciate all that the community does to encourage the arts in Ames. In time of such physical distance, art is the one thing that remains, that keeps us connected and shows how important it is to stay connected. So they say thank you, and we are glad to honor them with this award. Is there anyone else on the call who'd like to say anything? I think we're good. So that I'm gonna just keep going. Our next award honors a living practicing artist residing in Ames. This individual demonstrates the highest quality of achievement in their art form, along with a broad community impact through what they do. And we are honored to recognize Mary Richards with the Local Treasure Award. Mary was nominated by actors, and they had the following to say about her.
Mary Richards has been treasured by every organization that she supports for a long time. I am sure I have only seen a small portion of her involvement, support, and enthusiasm for the arts. Mary has been an avid supporter and participant in Actors. When she participates in a show, she does so much more than perform. Mary is the person that relates to the very young people in the cast, as well as the very well-seasoned. Notice that I didn't say old, because Mary is not. Additionally, she recognizes and shares the importance of community in theater. That is what Actors is about, and Mary is an example of what is good in community theater. Mary is the cheerleader for what we do at Actors. I don't expect to see her with pom-poms, but when compliments have been earned, she's the first to deliver. She champions the people that support the arts in Ames. Mary has also been active in Good Company. She's been singing with Good Company for as long as I have known her. Additionally, she is active in KHOI Radio. Mary recognizes that community radio is an art to be shared. She supports Ames Town and Gown and is active in other community and political organizations. If I ever grow up, says the nominator, I want to be just like Mary.
Stan, I think I stole those words out of your mouth, but do you have anything else you'd like to say about Mary?
There we go. I have to click in the right place. I just have to say, every time Mary is in a show, it brightens the building. And that's an incredibly valuable talent for anyone to bring to any arts organization, and Mary does it well.
That's lovely. That's just great. I'm not sure, is Mary on the call?
She was.
Yes. Yes. Yes, I'm here, Jen.
Perfect.
And I want to say thank you so much, Stan. I have loved all my experiences with Actors over on the stage, occasionally over 25 years, and certainly as an avid and faithful audience participant. But I also want to say to ACAC that I think these awards are a wonderful way of recognizing the many people in our community who keep the arts going. And it's so easy to be a volunteer in the arts here because there are so many wonderful organizations in performing arts, in the musical genre, in the visual arts, that we really are a very, very lucky community, I think, for that variety of experiences that we offer. And thank you for keeping all of us connected in terms of having ACAC. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mary. That was sweet. And I have to agree. The Ames Arts community is fabulous, and it's highlighted every year when we do these awards. There's just so many great people doing wonderful things. And with that, I'm going to go to our final award. The final award of the day is the one that takes the longest to earn. The Lifetime Achievement Award is given to an individual or individuals who have demonstrated a lifelong commitment to the arts and Ames by freely sharing their outstanding talents and making a significant impact in their community. This year, we were able to recognize two such individuals, Alice Thompson and Jim Oakey, nominated by the Senior Variety Show. Both Alice and Jim are lifelong performers and promoters of the arts in Ames. Many people dabble in the performing arts throughout their lives, but for a few, it becomes a way of life. For avid musicians, Jim and Alice, it seems like a necessity, as both are still performing well into their 90s. Alice has sung all her life through her church and other community groups. Coming from a musical family, her 3 years of piano lessons as a child set her on the road to making music. Likewise, Jim started early, entertaining audiences in junior high. He's been a constant presence on stage and a force in the Ames performing arts, including ISU theater and Actors. Their dedication to the arts has given them purpose and focus, which kept them young at heart, and they've given us much enjoyment. We have a short video to share showing both Alice and Jim in action.
is sad when you think of her wasted life, for youth cannot mate with age, and her beauty was sold for an old man's gold. She's a bird in a gilded cage.
Well, my name is James Oakey, and I was born in 1925, which makes me 92. I wonder what the king is up to tonight. Well, I enjoy performing, and it's a community effort. And I sing in other groups. You know, people say that singing does help a person retain their memory. And that's important. Suki Tawdry, Jenny Diver, Holly Beecham, Lucy Brown, over line forms on the right dear. Now that Mackie is back in town, oh, the shark has pretty teeth, dear, and he shows some pearly water. Just a gentleman has McKeith, dear, and he keeps it out of sight.
What else can we say? I know there are several people on the call who'd like to say a few things, so I'm not even sure where to start. Is there someone who'd like to be the first to speak? Let's see. I know Alice was here a second ago, and now I don't see her.
Well, I would just like to say I am honored and I'm humbled and I'm appreciative of this award, whether it's deserved or not. I do appreciate it, and I thank everyone responsible. It's been fun. It's a good ride. Thank you.
Well, I think the reason we have so many honorees is because Ames is certainly a well-known place for providing volunteers. And I'm very grateful to all the people who chip in and keep our arts moving. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is certainly the place in the, if we were in person, that there would be a standing ovation. I think everyone agrees. Thank you for all that you have done, Alice and Jen, to just inspire us all to keep making art. Any more comments? That was our last award for the day. So I just want to thank you all for being here. I know when we set it up this way, we weren't quite sure how things were going to play out. I think it's gone quite well, all things considered. Thank you for joining us in this new format and for all that you do to support the arts in Ames. Please feel free to stay on and chat for a bit if you'd like. Thank you to our award winners, the folks who did the nominating, to my board, to Jim, who's been in the background doing the technology piece for us. Yeah, I wish I could give you all a big hug, but until then, thank you.
Hey, Jan,
Yes.
When do we get our checks?
They are in the mail.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Leave it to Steve.
Thank you for organizing this.
This has been really great. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Jan.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.